Hello, welcome to MGP307. I'm Sheepdog, and with me is Pab because Kev and Anna are in Blackpool. So hello, Pab.
Hello. Hello.
I thought they were going to visit you today.
Yeah, they are extraordinarily close to me. When they went
Emotionally, you mean?
Yeah. No. Anna sent me a picture saying it's not kind of what she said, but it was like 10 minutes from where I live.
Is that the one they geotagged?
No. That was at the service station near the Bolton football stadium. It's not too far off from my grandparents' house, that one. But no, it's like, yeah, it was about 10 minutes from.
Just turning up at your nan's house.
They just turned up. Anna sent me a picture of like where they were at, like the junction they were at, and
your grandparents are in the background.
Oh no, this was on Wednesday, so I mean it was like I was like, I was confused as to why they were there. If I'm honest with you, then I realised that I'd come across the M62 through Yorkshire way. I imagine across the M62 into the 61.
Is our route? I mean, please stop naming roads. But is that our only way to Blackpool via your house? Is that
well, that is probably the ideal route to go. I just didn't comprehend they would go pretty much on a route that I travel at least once, maybe twice a week. I just didn't comprehend that at all.
I sometimes find it odd when people I know turn up in my turf unexpectedly. Like a mate of mine just had an event in Peterborough and he went to do it, and I was just like, "What the hell?" It's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I'd be a bit miffed if I was you and I went into my local Tesco's and Kev was there buying a pasty or something. Just be like, "Oi, get off my turf."
Yeah, not on my patch.
So, how's your week been? I mean, it's been weird them not being around. I've been chatting to them online now and again about their gallivanting in Blackpool, but mine's been empty. And then I've crammed a week's worth of shenanigans into the past hour and a half. But before I go on my tangent, I'd like to just hear your tangents, and then I'll just. I don't think
I've had any. I don't think I've had any tangents. Like you say, the same way. I kind of briefly been keeping up with Kev and Anna through Kev's vlog, and oddly, it posted to his last year's vlog from Blackpool, and I could not remember hardly any of it.
I must admit that was before we realised it was okay for us to be involved in his vlogs. So he actually had to say to us after that point that we are allowed to jump around and get involved and have emotions.
No, we did. Yeah.
I think that might have been the time midway through that weekend, because we were before that standing away, or the camera would be on us and we'd just freeze so that we wouldn't interrupt anything.
No, I feel like that was before then. Because there was a whole segment. There was a whole segment where from Comic-Con, the previous Comic-Con, where you had a segment with Kev on camera.
That might have just been my natural charisma shining through in the moment.
Well, that's possibly true, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he ordered us to get involved at one point. Anyway, I've been jumping around trying to find the current stats, but earlier today I saw somebody tweeting that if they made a deal with their mum, if they got 10,000 retweets, their mum would give up smoking. And I thought that. About 7:45, I put a tweet out. I had a conversation with my dad. I said, "How many retweets for your mum to stop reading the Daily Mail?" He said, "Give me 10 grand and I'll do it." And I said, "No, that's not how these things work. How many retweets would it take for you to stop reading the Daily Mail?" Annoyingly, he said 250,000. Undeterred, okay. I said, "You're on." So I've tweeted it out there into Twitter, and I sort of CC'd in Stop Funding Hate, The Last Leg, and people like that. At the moment, it's had over 500 retweets by random strangers, which isn't quite 250,000, but my phone has been in meltdown. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
God knows what'll happen if The Last Leg retweet it, but that was just one group with about 100,000 followers. They've taken the cause on for me. A lot of people retweeted their tweet instead of my tweet, which is pretty gutting. But watching my phone go from 69% battery down to 55% battery in the space of about 15 minutes, I was like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah.
I started to get a little bit of abuse from random Daily Mail readers, but it's been very entertaining watching that unfold. I only did it as a joke, really, and it's just gone off on one, which is lovely. Hopefully, by the end of the weekend, my dad won't read the Daily Mail anymore.
No, you have got your YouTube channel in your Twitter bio, I presume.
Yes, and I did a video called "Twitter is Awesome." And
okay, cool.
It's there. I don't think I'm going to benefit in any way from that. I've gained probably 5 followers so far, but no, it's entertaining watching it go because it stops for a little bit. I mean, I'm saying it's on just over 500, but I don't know if that's because I am just on a page that doesn't update. No, it's
on 50,000.
Okay, it went up 25 when I refreshed the page.
Oh, well, there you go. That's quite a lot.
It's a lot for me. I mean, my sister said to me, what's your best retweets? And I'm pretty sure it was the time we were trying to get our book to go above the Bible in the Amazon book charts. And that kind of went semi-viral. But I'm counting on the last leg coming on. They always do their tweeters during the ad breaks and we'll read your tweets out. And I'm thinking they've had, because they're included on this. So if I put at Pab and then 100 people retweeted it, would you get an alert every time?
Yes. I would get a notification that a tweet with a mention of me in it has been retweeted by such person.
So they've had 550 retweets in the past hour, plus 105 likes, plus the other one I did because I then tweeted the people on it individually and said, "Give us a hand." And I'm thinking hopefully that'll boost it a bit more. But I'm quite impressed with this. Twitter's awesome.
Yes, when it's used right, Sheepdog, it is awesome.
It's my birthday on Tuesday, and I'm thinking if by then I've managed to change the world enough that my dad doesn't read the Daily Mail anymore, then I've basically peaked. 33. I can't do anything after that will beat this. This is my Everest, getting him to stop reading that paper.
Just what you want to do, Sheepdog, is just, does he have it delivered or something?
No, because he works. He gets up really early in the morning and goes and buys it from the local paper shop. And I can't get up early enough to beat him to it and burn it down or something.
Yeah, you need to contact that news agent or paper shop and say, "Do not serve this man."
I taught my kids to pull it out of his hand and rip it up, and they did it once and it didn't go down very well.
Really?
Do that anymore? Yeah. My daughter just went in, grabbed it, tore it in half. They were like, "What the hell's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, sorry."
And you just like completely didn't acknowledge what.
I've had the odd time where they've read something out to me from the Daily Mail and I've just took it and put it in the bin, like in a bit of a huff. Like, let me have a quick look. What are you reading? Show me the article. And then I just get up, march out to the recycling bin, and it goes. But yeah, so that's been entertaining me this evening. That's not all I've played this week. I've actually played at least 2 games.
I've played a game that you have interacted with me in.
Yeah, I'm finding this alarming. I feel like I'm in a bizarro world because I'm assuming you're talking about Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
You've started playing it. Kev's playing it.
I've been playing it for about 2 weeks.
Interesting.
I play it for like what? Sorry.
I was well offended that you added Kev and not me and Anna.
Kev's was the only code I could find, and I couldn't scroll on his Twitter. That was I couldn't find any other. I looked through loads of it. Everyone else is like yours and Anna's are the only other people I'm interested in friending.
Those poor listeners.
Well, no, I mean, if people, like I say, I'm not advertising the fact that I'm playing it. I'm playing it for 5 minutes, like every single day while I'm like, I know there's a Pokestop where I walk past at work. So I literally get that, walk back down where I came from, and then turn it off. So I play for it 5 minutes maybe at the most. And then I didn't even notice there was a friend thing until I just happened to click on the tab and went, "Oh, I had friends." And the code thing is frustrating as hell. So it won't let you copy a code paste the code into the box. So you've got to put it in manually. So I'm on my phone. So I start typing a number in, and then I tab back to the Twitter page of Kev's number, and then I go, okay, there's the next 4 numbers. I go back, and it starts it again. So I've got to start with the 4 numbers again. So I'm like having to memorize a 12-digit number. And I just can't do it. I just cannot memorize a 12-digit number. Every time I've got to keep tabbing it in between apps, and it keeps deleting it.
Paste it, you know?
No, it wouldn't let me do it. It wouldn't let me paste into the app.
What I tend to do is copy or type it out in whatever like an in-between app, and then do it.
Well, this is what I did. I thought, here we go, clever. This is what I'd learned after this. That's also another reason I didn't want to put any more numbers in. After painstakingly putting Kev's number in for 10 minutes trying to sort it out, I thought this time with yourself and Anna, I was like, right, put it in my work phone. Just dial the number in my work phone, so I've got it there on a separate phone, so I can put it in on the actual in the Pokemon Go app on my phone. So that's how I did it. It seemed much easier. That's it. I was being deterred from adding friends because I didn't want to deal with the stress of having to memorize 12-digit numbers.
Well, you could get yours and put it on Twitter, and we'd have all added you.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't want to advertise the fact that I'm playing it. I'm only playing it,
I suppose,
5 minutes at a time, and I think I played it while I was at Comic-Con, so that was about 3 weeks ago. I just literally, because I was walking from where I parked to the convention centre, I was like, there is so many Pokestops here, and I literally had run out of bag room.
I bet you're the kind of player that's upsetting me at the moment by taking my gyms from me that I always have.
And then again, to be fair, I took a gym on Saturday on this EV Day thing, whoever it is. I took a gym. I went into Walkden shopping centre. People will know where that is. Maybe we'll see. Tweet me. But yeah, there's a gym right at the end of the shopping centre, and I was like, let's go to the gym because it's the closest Pokestop as well. Because the actor's Pokestops now, I didn't know that. I learned that as well. So I went there, and there was just one Pokemon in it. It was a Team Red one, whatever it was, and it was like level 800 Pokemon. And I went, my Gyarados is 1,000 at least. So I beat it and put it in there, and went, wow, I've just taken a gym. I've never done that before ever. Took a gym.
Like a big man, then that's it.
Well, took a gym. Went into Tesco. Looked at my phone again when I came out of Tesco. Oh, your Gyarados is back after fighting valiantly. Yeah, he just got whooped immediately.
This is the thing that's getting me, because like a month ago, I could nip out, put a Pokemon in a gym, and about a week later he'd return.
Right.
And I'd have me 50 coins, and I'd have had enough Pokemon in enough gyms that I'd be getting 50 coins a day. Whereas now it's like, yeah, he's back. You got 3 coins, and it's like you get a coin every 10 minutes. So he spent like half an hour.
Oh, I got 1 coin.
Yeah,
so he didn't last long.
And then people keep accidentally leaving him empty.
Working,
What's going on there?
Hello.
One of the most known farmers in this stage having started
Hello.
farming and media labour.
Hello.
Hello.
There's actually a whole bunch of Kellogg's who went on campaign with this farmer.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
Invaded.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's me.
Because it couldn't go too far.
Hold on.
Okay, Anna.
Sorry, I just turned my laptop on and didn't realise you two were there.
That was weird.
Well, there you go. The facade has been broken. You're no longer in Blackpool.
I just got home like an hour ago.
Oh, very good.
Sorry, are you two recording?
We are. I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know if to carry on. And...
Oh, we're carrying on. I'm not editing. Editing is hard. Just get a live cameo.
Bless you. Bless you. Sorry, boys. I was
It's okay. It's good to hear your voice.
Oh, you're so kind.
Kev's on the helium again.
No, that's not Kevin, unfortunately. That's Andy. He's all wild.
Did you all have a good trip in Blackpool?
It was tiring.
Andy, do that 3 more times and I'll give us some more money.
Tiring and hard work, because the rooms didn't have any like AC, and oh my god,
yeah.
so warm in there. Like,
But it was still great.
it was great, but it was.
I was going to say, wasn't this
Until I've ever been in.
a sponsored trip, and you're saying this live on the podcast?
Yeah.
What was I supposed to say?
You're supposed to lie!
You may want to check whether Kev wants you to edit this now.
I'm not. It's too late. It's in. It's in. I'm not editing. I'm not editing.
So where were we? We were talking about Pokemon Go, weren't we?
Pokemon Go.
Yes.
I've done some Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Are you actually doing podcast now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Should you not plug a microphone in?
We're just going.
Yeah,
No,
but it sounds awful!
I'm not editing it.
I just wanted to print a label.
It's not that bad. It sounds all right, to be fair. People will love it.
Do you want us to let you get on, or do you want us to hold around and wait for?
No, you can carry on. I'm listening.
I feel really conscious. We've got a live audience.
Hold on. I have games to talk about, so
Oh, there we go. All right. Well,
All right, well, there you go. It's more than we've
work
got.
you in somewhere. What was I going to say? I've forgotten. It was something about gyms.
You're
and
taking
casuals
gyms.
wrecking it, and they're ruining
Yes.
my flow. But it's all good because I don't really need any of the coins anymore because I only need one more Pokemon. I've got them all. I met someone earlier who gave me the New Zealand one, and
Oh,
means that the only one I need now is the Indian/Japanese one. So I'm well excited because I thought the bloke was going to let me down. I arranged to meet like several people in Peterborough to get this Pokemon. And then one guy just met me outside the Starbucks in Peterborough. We had a quick chat. He traded me what I wanted and off I went. It must have looked like a drug deal going down. Where we met up, we had a chat, we exchanged, and then we walked back. We walked back to the car park.
yeah.
Walked to our respective cars, and they were parked one in front of the other. In the middle of this massive car park of about 200 cars, I'd managed to park exactly in front of him. So we could have made it look like an even dodgier drug bust by just staying in our cars, but we didn't realise. So I walked for nothing. But yeah, I literally need one more Pokemon. Although they are releasing a new one on Monday, which means I essentially need two more Pokemon.
A new Pokemon. They're releasing one Pokemon.
Well, it's a mythical one. So
Right.
if you look in your quests, you'll have a quest to catch Mew. It's like a story mode for the game.
Right.
I don't know if you've not
Okay.
noticed that yet.
I've seen quests, but I don't get them because it involves.
Yeah, so in the quest bit, if you scroll right on that screen, it comes up
Yeah.
with special quests, and one of them is called A Mythical Discovery. You have to do the first 3 missions on that, and then on Monday they're releasing another one. I don't know what they're calling it yet, but it's about Celebi, which is a green fairy Pokemon thing that you have to do loads of missions and stuff. And then once you've completed all the missions, you get given the mythical Pokemon. So that'll keep me strung along for enough time that they'll probably bring out 1 or 2 more. And then Gen 4 comes out in about a month, I think, because there's some big ultra drop they're doing and they've started to add it into the code. So
Right, yeah.
yes, I've just about completed it. I'm hoping there's a lady who's got this Pokemon I need that said she'll trade me. I'm hoping I bump into her over the weekend because I'd love to be able to complete it before my birthday. But then they'll bring out that new one, which might stitch me up. But yeah,
Well, it will do, but
one more.
it gives you gives you another reason to play the game again, doesn't
Well,
it?
yeah,
really?
I don't want to be done from it completely, of course. But no, I'm loving the fact that I'm basically the one I thought I'd never get because it involved going to Australia. Sorted. I don't have to go to Australia.
That's cool.
Be the winner.
And you can't trade something they haven't caught themselves. Am I right? Is that a thing?
What? They've
So,
caught it. Oh, right. So no,
they can't get it. They can't have traded it from someone else.
that's right. They have to have gone to Australia to get it.
Yeah.
Which I confirmed with him as much as I could that he definitely
So,
did.
like I
It
say, I
shows on it that he
couldn't
did.
get it from you. Basically.
No, that's right. I can't.
Yeah.
If he'd have given me 5, I couldn't have given 4 of them away.
Yeah.
I've arranged to meet up with him again in 2 weeks when he's in Peterborough again, so I can get one for my son on his account.
Nice.
I feel weird, like I'm just meeting my Pokemon dealer outside Starbucks every couple of weeks.
Where do you find these people, Sheepdog?
Facebook. I just ask obnoxiously.
What do you mean? You just put it into the Facebook ether and someone comes out from the mist?
Well, in Pokemon Go groups, I don't just
Right.
go
Okay.
into,
You don't just post it in general chat.
Yeah, I'll
Anyone-
just
anyone
go
got
on
a
the Tesco's
Pokemon?
page. But no, Pokemon Go for the Peterborough area, I think it's called, something like that.
I see.
And,
Okay.
I just said, has anyone got Relicanth? And then somebody private messaged me with no context about 8 hours later, just going, I have what you need.
Oh my
And I was
word.
just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, like, you could be responding to so many things I've put out into the universe in the past 24 hours. I have no way of knowing which one you're referring to. Like, it could be a Pokemon. It could be like an organ donor request. It could have been anything. I could have been looking for a new liver. For all I knew with this, I was just like, what have I put on the internet that you're responding to? But it turned out it was this Pokemon. So I was well happy. And all week I've been thinking he's not going to turn up. He's going to stitch me up because everyone else that said they'll trade me has then gone, oh, I'm really sorry. I received it in a trade. Ruined me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well.
So yeah, I'm well happy with that. But I also finally started playing Mario Odyssey.
Ah, here we go.
Now, that is fantastic. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, running around trying to turn all the lights on in the Hat Town.
Oh, right. Yeah. I can see that, yeah. I think I tried to do that, or at least either did it or tried to do it.
I was expecting
start,
there to be like I was expecting there to be like a prize for doing it, but it never came. I must have missed the light, I suppose. But what I was wondering with that is, when I did the first, so I did the hat place, I did the next place. There was a dinosaur that I took over and started trashing a joint. Got enough moons that I could get the hat
Move on, yeah.
to fly,
Yeah.
whatever it was. It was like normal Mario with.
Yeah.
But then it shows like a page that tells you how many of the moons you got from the level you're on, and it makes it look like there's about 25 moons in each land. Is that real, or is it just badly made?
Yeah, no.
So I need to now run around that place for another 5 hours trying to find the rest of it.
There are challenges within that thing, so it's like some will just be possibly just around like under a rock or something like that. Some are just like that, just simple as that. Some are like you've got to do a certain thing in the mission, similar to Mario 64. Was it Mario 64 where you'd have like a challenge for each star? Well, it was a star, wasn't it, in Mario 64? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And so that's what you do. Just like challenges, like.
But the first place didn't seem big enough. I'm surprised.
There's not as many in the earliest days when the levels start opening up and they're a bit bigger.
So this level will get bigger later on when I come back to it, will it?
No, not this level in particular, but the later levels will scale up, sort of thing.
Right, but it still seemed like it was saying there was 25.
Well, there possibly is. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but there possibly is.
I'll maybe look later on once I need to grind through them or something. But no, really enjoying it, except for the fact that it makes me violently motion sick.
Really?
Yeah, so sick. I probably played it for 2.5 hours maybe, and by the end of it, I was so ill, and I felt really annoyed then because I'd made I said a mistake. It's not a mistake. I'd made the decision about 20 minutes in to go and add Captain Toad to my birthday list.
Yes.
And because my mum's hilarious, she literally asked me whether I had a list, and I said yeah, and she went about everything on my list, and that must have been 10 minutes after I said I had one and had added Captain Toad, so I couldn't even go back and go, maybe I won't get it yet. Maybe I'll see how I go with Mario. So now I know
I don't think it's much more smoother and calmer.
I think the reason that this one wasn't and was making me a bit ill was because Mario, I'd have to press jump and he wouldn't jump, and I'd press left and he weren't going left like straight away, and then he'd move fine for ages, and then it was getting a bit jerky, and I think that was just killing me.
Were you on you're on the Joy-Cons, aren't you?
Yeah, and it tells you to use them, so I don't know whether it's just they've got a bit of latency to them.
One in each hand?
Yeah.
Or what are you doing? Yes.
One in each hand, yeah.
So
I don't know whether they've got a little bit of latency to them or what.
There is, if at a certain distance there is, and how far away are you from the actual console?
Oh, like 2.5 meters, 3 meters. It's not far.
Okay.
I wasn't like other side of the house. I wasn't in the east wing.
No, I know, but I know that they've not got huge range.
But no, I was just like, oh no. So then I thought, am I going to regret? But I probably won't. Hopefully I'll get used. I was surprised and impressed that my kids were able to sit and watch me play it without butting in. I thought they were going to be like, oh, I want to go, because I kept telling them I'd bought it to play myself, not with them.
Not for you.
Yeah, which I don't mind all the other stuff, but I'm like, this was for me, get out. So they let me do it. So I'm thinking over the weekend I'll give it another try, but I don't want 4 hours of feeling ill. I felt so rough. I made the mistake of turning it off, laying back on the sofa, and then I couldn't sit back up. And about 2 hours went by where I was staring at the clock, just thinking, I can't get up. I feel so rough. And everyone's like saying to me, get up and do something, do this, do that. I'm like, I can't. And then when I finally got up, I was like, I can't believe I've wasted 2 hours just staring at the clock go round. Genuinely just might as well have been paralysed. It's such a waste of time. But I just felt like I was going to be just sick. And I did a video about it in the end. I was so like het up about it that then I sat down and did a vlog where I was just like, games like just destroy me sometimes, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how to cure it. Which just reminds me, by the way, somebody said to me, have I considered looking at glasses that you can get playing games?
Oh, yeah, the game.
And I didn't know these were a thing, but
yeah.
Pab, I know you were going to reply that, because as I was saying to Kev on Twitter the other day, in my attempt to try and find suitable birthday presents to ask for, because I'm getting harassed from my parents and my wife and my mother-in-law because I don't really want anything, I started looking down yours and Kev's Amazon lists. And
I didn't know that was a thing you could do.
Kev has some proper mad stuff on his, like genuinely mental stuff. Sometimes I'm reading through his list and I'm thinking, what's going through his mind? And I'm guessing they're on there for Anna, or they're on there for Andy.
No, they're on there because I like awesome things.
You're colourblind, you moron! Why game about colours?
Because it was that needs to come off there. Thank you very much to Big Potato Games. They're now sending me that game for free. Thank you very much to them. You should watch my vlog. You'd know all about that game, you fun.
But it was fun reading through his list, because I was like, can't see colours, buying a colourblindness game. Mark's Pokemon Go brought an entire Pokemon Go outfit. It was hilarious.
Which someone's now sent me. It's awesome. I've got the shirt and the hat.
It was fun reading through his, because I just thought that is madness. But then, so I've just woke my kids up apparently by shouting. But then on yours, Pab,
yes,
this is before someone had suggested it to me. You have some sort of PS4 sunglasses that help you fight fatigue while you play games.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, I looked at I don't know. I looked at they have like I think they're called like Gunner Optics or something, like the proper ones that are like £200 or something like this. And I'm like, I'm not paying that for it. And then in the same search came up these PlayStation ones. I was like, I don't even know these are real. But apparently they had genuine PlayStation glasses that do the same sort of thing. So but they're like £25 or something. So I put them in my wish list and thought I'll just keep an eye on and see if the price drops. And
do you think this is my answer? Do you think this is what I'm lacking? Maybe
I don't know.
Am I that hardcore a gamer that I need special glasses?
Need special glasses.
Because at the moment it's debilitating. I can't play Call of Duty. That's like they should do adverts about me on the telly. Sheepdog can't play first-person shooters. You know, £25 is buying a pair of glasses that would mean he could jump straight in and be good at them.
I mean, I really don't know Sheepdog. I mean, I just hear about them every now and again, and I think, is it worth a go just to see what they do? I'm more curious about anything Sheepdog.
So my bet is no, because we'd have heard about it on the grapevine, surely.
I've heard about it for yonks, but like I said, I'm just always curious about it. I've never been like enough to gamble on a pair. I've always heard of this specific make that's stupidly expensive, and people like saying that they really enjoy them, but what have you. But I've been like, I'm never that bad at games that I need like it gives me headaches or anything like that. I don't really have that. But at a price point of £25, it might be worth a gamble.
It's been going around in my head, do I want to gamble it? I don't really want to buy it, but I also don't want to use £25 worth of present value. Yeah, but then someone else is spending money on it, and if they were going to spend that much money on me, I'd rather they spend it on something else.
Well, yes, a good point.
Not that I'm even sure what, but you know what I mean? It's like...
And a good colour game for you.
You don't know what good colour games even look like.
They're all labelled. I don't need to know what the colours look like. They've got the words. I know the words, you idiot.
So, sorry, my phone's still going mad about these tweets, by the way, which Kev hasn't retweeted yet, by the way.
I don't tweet politics.
It's not politics. It's a bet with my dad.
It's a political newspaper. It's a political opinion.
Kevin.
I keep pulling it out of my brand.
Fair enough. Anna can do it though.
Yeah, Anna can.
I want to get to at least 1,000. If I don't get over 1,000, I feel really disappointed considering I'm at nearly 600. I want to get to 250,000, damn it. Everyone listening should go follow me at RB6K and retweet the heck out of it. It's my pinned tweet. My last game I want to talk about, and I've not played this on the format I'm talking about, but I didn't realise that XCOM 2 had been released on console a long time ago. And I added that to my list, and that arrived today in the big box of stuff my mum ordered. And I'm so excited to play the heck out of this because
It's really hard.
it is hard. It was hard on the PC, but then I got a Mac and that can't play real games. So my story of XCOM 2 was like I played the first 4 hours and then never went back. I wish there was a way to move my save across from PC to console, but I doubt there is. Is there?
No.
Yeah, I thought it'd be too much to
Where
ask
did you get it
for.
on, Sheepdog?
I got it on Xbox.
Okay. I was saying because I'm fairly certain it was a PS Plus game relatively recently.
Shush your mouth.
I think it was.
It was, yeah.
God damn. Oh well, I mean this was only like a tenner.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
Yeah, like half a pair of glasses. I wonder if Specsavers would sell those glasses if I went in there and got an eye.
Did you get them on the NHS?
Thinking out loud now, but yeah. So I'm excited to play that because I thought that was an awesome game. The annoying thing is I won't be able to play it in front of the kids because it's proper gory compared to the first one.
I wouldn't know.
That story's awesome. They need to make a film about that. They need to make XCOM the movie, starring me. But yeah, they're the games I've either played or wanted to talk about. So you can cover your stuff now.
Anna, do you want to?
That question before you continue, because our dinner's going to be here in a minute, and we're going to have to disappear and do a real podcast.
Yes.
Where have you been the last few days? We were waiting for you to come and meet us. We were basically living in your garden.
We talked about that.
You were. Like I said at the start of the show, when you tweeted that picture, Anna, of the junction you were at the motorway, and I was like, that is about 10 minutes from where I live. And I was like, what? And I couldn't compute. I was saying this to shit. I could not compute why you were going past my house, sort of thing, to get to Blackpool.
I got your address saved in my sat nav, and we were very close.
I wasn't in at that point.
I was going to take a picture of the front of his house and tweet that.
That'd been it'd been a bit out of your way, but yeah. Wow. Yeah.
10 minutes out of our way, apparently. In the grand scheme of things, in a 6-hour journey, 10 minutes out of our way wouldn't have been a big deal for a gag.
6 hours?
Yeah.
We stop a lot.
He went south.
I'm
to
just
Chile.
an hour drive, but 2 stops on the way.
Oh no! I just realised something.
Well,
I'm coming with you to Comic-Con.
Yeah, but that's only a one stop.
That's a one-stopper, is it? Oh, okay. I don't feel as bad now then.
when
it's like 300 miles?
No, 195.
200 miles, 2 stops. It's not too bad. And we had Andy with us, and he's really, really slow. So.
I eat in large quantities, so between the two of us, we have long stops.
Fair enough.
As I plough through the driving, singing my lungs out the entire way. So the journey goes really quick for me and takes 4 times as long for everyone in the car with me.
See my way, Pab.
I was at work. I was at work when you messaged me. I was at work when you messaged me. And then I replied back and you said, I'm here now, and you were near the football stadium, I think. Or something like that, yeah. And that was another hour, but that was another hour later before I saw that, because I was still working.
On the way home.
I'm not convinced you're not in Pab's living room like right now. I think this is all a ruse, so I don't feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
No, so I said, so I don't feel bad that you're having a party at Pab's house without me. You're not even in. I can't even see if you're in the chat. You've started shouting from his living room.
Yeah, I'm in Pab's house.
Yeah.
Well, just wanted to put it out there that Pab's really rude and didn't come and see us.
No,
I said to Anna, if I got a message from Pab, or if I saw on Pab's Twitter, I'm just hanging out in Grantham for a few days, I'd drive to Grantham. which is about 40 minutes from my house, and just look for you. But no.
See, we had that same discussion a minute ago where I said if Pab or someone said they were on our turf, I'd be like, what the heck are you doing? Get out of our turf. Unless he was coming to visit me.
Yeah, if I was around, I felt weird all week straight, thinking you are like an hour from me, and I can't come and see you. It felt weird.
Also, Pab, in your defence, I went to the park near his house, and he ran out to the park like a dog to bark at me, daring to be within 100 metres of where he lived. And I come walking behind him like, oh God. He said, what are you doing on my turf?
Something like that. I'm a very territorial creature.
I know. The second I left the country, you went on my turf, downloaded my games, started playing with all my friends, joining my Facebook groups. It's outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, all the Facebook groups. Well, I basically know what Sheepdog's doing at all times now.
We were covering that as well before you came on, actually. I was saying I just put it out. I make demands to the internet, and then it kind of just comes back to me.
Wow.
It's funny, but I'm going to get back to my editing and wait for my... You like... I assume you're not taking... She's plugged her microphone in, I've just noticed. When did that happen?
Ages ago.
Goodness me. You lock yourselves out. I've got work to do.
Right, see you later.
I've ordered for my dinner. Anna said, give me some chow mein. So I've ordered Anna a chow mein, and I've got mixed appetizers for 2. That's all I want. I don't want any of the... Who wants proper food from Chinese? I just want starters. So I've got appetizers on their way.
That sounds all right. That sounds okay.
Thanks for letting us all know.
Yeah. Still not editing it.
Get lost. I've got work to do. Pab, move over.
Oh.
So did you have games, Anna?
I did. I've played some. I can't remember what they are because it's been such a long time. But I did buy and purchase. Is it We Happy Few?
Yes. Okay.
Oh my god! So I liked this game when it was shown. I was all up for this game. I did play it for 10 hours, and I like it. But oh my god, it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like the textures are popping in. When you're moving stuff about, sometimes it just flies away. You can't hit people sometimes. When you're hiding, they automatically find you. You get to a city and you have to take the joy, spoilers by the way, and if one person doesn't like you, for me anyway, the whole town turns on you, and I don't know how, because after that, you've got no hope because your weapons don't last forever. You've run out, obviously you've only got limited inventory space, and just seems not finished. But I like the way it looks.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's something to it, but I've had it since it came out in early access.
Mm.
I thought there was something to it when I was playing it in early access. But then stopped playing it.
Survival though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all like a survival game, and there was something kind of strange about it and compelling for me to play it. I think I said this at the time when it came out, but I never found the desire to go back to it because I thought I'll just wait for it to come out on full release. And now that it has, I can't bring myself to play it because I've heard so many things of like this game is horrendous.
Yeah.
But then I've also heard people really enjoying it, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't bring myself to play it because I don't know which side of the fence I'm going to fall on. So,
like, the start of it is the start from back when it was early access. That's all the same. Like when you go through the office and you hit the thing, and then you go down to the sewer, and that's all the same. Like I remember that, and then like you can play it like normal, easy for like just for the story, or like super hard, and you have to learn the way of the land, but it doesn't feel fixed, and it doesn't feel like a full game. It feels like, oh, go and do this bit of this kind of story. Oh no, but they go and do this bit, and it's just a bit odd, and I don't know. I haven't wanted to go back for it. I've had it a week now.
Yeah.
And I played it on the Monday. I played it a bit on the Saturday, and I haven't been back because I just can't bother because I need it to be patched to want to play it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's all right, but I'll wait for some patches and let them fix it because it is really disjointing. Like you turn around and everything starts popping in, and
Right.
for me to be on a PlayStation Pro and that's all supposed to like be handled better, it seems like I'm playing a very early PlayStation 4 game. So I'm just it's there and I like it. Just they need to fix some bugs with the like people floating off into the air for no apparent reason. Just bye-bye. But the underlying story is interesting, like about his brother. And I believe you don't just play one character. I believe you play 2 or 3.
Oh.
That's quite good. Because the way it started, it was like, oh, take on the story of these 3 characters. I was like, well, that's interesting. Now, whether that means the DLC is just different characters or you get to play the characters in this single standing game, I don't know, because there is a massive season pass. It's like 3 or 4. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I don't know, but it just, some things need to be fixed or explained better, because there isn't really a tutorial. Like, you go through the world and it will give you hints. I like how if you walk around with your weapon out, people instantly think that you're being aggressive. And you're like, no, but sometimes you forget.
When I walk around with my weapon out, people don't think I'm being aggressive.
I'm sure they don't. But, I'll wait and see. And then before we went on our little trip, I was watching Many a True Nerd because I like kids' videos, and he was playing Crackdown. So next morning, the first one,
Okay.
bought Crackdown, and then I was playing for a bit, and I was like, it's alright. It's
difficult.
It's hard. It's definitely.
It's the controls and everything about it is very 2006 when it came out or whatever it was, 2007.
Yeah, like the jumping is like jump very slow, jump,
Yeah.
but it's a bit. But I played like 2 hours of it and it was fun and very aggressive from the get go though. There's no like holding your hand. It's just like aggressive, everything shooting at you all at the same time. You're like, oh my lord, what's happening? But Kevin told me to go and collect all the orbs.
Oh yeah, that's what you got to do.
I'll collect all the orbs. I like the fact that you've got like your stats down one side, like all the time. You can see which ones you're leveling up faster than the others, which I like. And yeah, what I played of it like was literally an hour. Was fun enough. Like I just killed my first like big boss or something, like very early on. So that's fine. And then I've been playing Infamous again. Don't know why. Like the first son? Oh my god, what's it called? Second son. That's it. I've been playing that. I started it again. I have played this twice before, but I get stuck near the end when I have to take on so right at the start you meet another guy who gives you powers, and then this like I don't know soldier woman has like concrete powers.
Yeah.
And she like hurts all your family, so you need to go and hunt her down to gain her power. And every time I go and fight her, I just can't get past it, and it drives me insane. And I don't know why. I can't seem to get the pattern going, but I'll keep going. I'll collect every shard because you have drones that you can shoot down that give you powers and shards, and you have to collect all of them to gain more powers, and you get powers off different people. So I've got the smoke, I've got the neon, and I've got the TV. What was it? No, like computer daggers and angels and stuff. So that's quite fun. But I'm just trying to find something to fill time because it's that time of the year when there's there's nothing out. And then today I was on the way home and I had the devastating news that Spyro, that I was so looking forward to. I thought, that comes out a week before I have to go back to uni. Andy will be at school. I have a few days when I don't have to work. I can just play that, and now it's not out till November, and I'm really, really sad about it. Because November it's going... Pardon?
Do you know when it's actually out?
November,
Yeah,
something.
same
It's just
as
lost.
Fallout.
See what I mean? So it'll get lost, and then I'll just forget about it, and it'll just go. But Fallout, I love Fallout, but I swear to God, if I don't get in the beta, I'm just going to cancel my big pre-order and just get the standard edition, because I only pre-ordered the big one for the beta, because as far as I was aware, if you ordered the big massive pack with the helmet and the bag and the thing, you would get in the beta, and now it's like selected people from like October, and it comes out in November. I'm like, if I don't get in that, I'm just gonna cancel that, because it's a lot of money. It's like nearly £200 that I don't really like. I don't have, and I'll just get like normal edition that comes out on the, when is it? The 14th?
Something like that.
Yeah. So we'll see. If I don't get in, they've lost my... I can, like, other people have said as well, like, that's not fair. They said, get that one. You get the break it early pack, and now it's selected people. Not happy with that. I can't see my other games. They're over there somewhere. Oh, I played some Bulletstorm. So this is the game you lot found for me last year? Or this year?
Tried to find. Yeah.
Tried to find you, but it wasn't out. So I just put that back in, started from the start, and just going around murdering people with my lash and like pulling them towards you and kicking them into spikes. What else is there? You can like funnel them towards like man-eating plants. That's also fun. Kicking like these bugs at them that stick on their heads and watching their heads explode. It's a very violent and bloody game, but it's funny, and it's like it's not God of War, Gears of War, but they've just let, not so serious, just a bit of fun. So I'm playing that, but that's me. I've not done anything else, and then I went to Blackpool, and it was very, very fun, and Kevin made me go up a wheel that I wasn't happy about. So
I saw that today. I've got to be honest with you, it kind of made me chuckle a little bit.
Pab, I've got 6 minutes of that footage. Panic attack, and I didn't want to get taken down.
I was thinking that. It seemed like Anna was having a panic attack.
Sheer panic. I
did like it.
If I put this full thing on there, this video is getting demonetised. So I need to just make it look like...
Wasn't it? You didn't want to humiliate Anna.
Oh, it was awful. The thing was, right, because Kevin decided, like, late in the day that's when he wanted people to meet, and as I'm thinking, that's such a bad idea, but okay, go with it. Because normally Kevin will go to his convention, then meet people, but Andy's different creature. Mm-hmm. He needs different circumstances. So, like, we were trying to keep him entertained, and Kevin's like, oh, there's a wheel, do you want to go on it? And Andy said yes. I was like, all right, I'll go over there. But I thought because Kevin had mentioned to him that he would go up there, because I didn't want to go up there because it was really windy. It was really like the sea was stormy as hell, and like these people are going around, and some of the carriages were like spinning, because I'm just like, why are they going in circles? So we got there, I got the tickets, and Kevin was like, no, you're going on it with him. I was like, no. And it's like, yeah, well, then come by yourself. I'm not going to let my 14-year-old boy, like, because he's only little, bless him, on there by himself. So I had to go up. Kevin like, I'll take a camera. I don't want to be on it. I just want to have my hand on the middle, because, like, the middle bit is where you can spin it. I just wanted to keep that as still as possible and not look at the wood. Oh, it was horrible.
But in the end, you did enjoy it.
No, I didn't.
You just kept going, I like it.
No, I didn't like it at all. It was awful. Like, if it was a normal calm day, I would have been fine. But it was
pretty calm.
But the fact that it was that wind, the wind was so forceful that day.
I had to sit on a rusty bench, and there was a toddler nearby who kept banging into my leg.
Yeah, I would have rathered that than being up there.
You had to push him over. He just kept banging into my leg.
You're not funny. They They're carrying on with their podcast.
Podcast.
What they're doing now?
Is that thing still going?
It's not being edited. It's still going.
Cheese rock.
Kevin, shut up.
Right.
My wife just went and got me a whiskey and herself a chocolate bar and didn't bring me a chocolate bar. I think that's quite offensive. Sorry? There's none left! But it's a 2-finger twirl! I think you'll find there's 2 there. Oh, don't get married, kids.
I got a free 12 the other day.
Yeah, we did.
3 fingers?
No.
No, 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to someone who knew the difference between 3 and 3.
What were you buying? What were you supposed to be buying?
Hula hoops.
He was buying hula hoops,
Well, there
right?
was a twirl in there.
No, listen, right?
Vending machine story.
Yeah, it's a vending machine. So it was late
Best
at night. I wanted some hula hoops, so I sent Kevin down for hula hoops, and he came back with a selection. I was like, "What's happened here then?" So he bought the hula hoops, and they came forward, but they didn't drop. So he bought another packet of hula hoops, and then the one that previous got dropped, but as it came down, it hit a twirl. So we got 2 packets of hula hoops and a twirl. Because it got too bad.
I'm a vending machine genius. I snuck it. It was in reception of the hotel, so I snuck it in and then ran off and started giggling.
See, that's a scenario where you started money at the ended up much better off, whereas I'd have probably just hit the machine and ended up in a cell overnight while Anna starved in the room wondering where the heck I'd gone. Not that I'd be with Anna, I'd be with my own wife, but, you know, the point still remains. I'd be in prison because I was too tight to spend an extra 50p.
It was funny. Yeah, but these vending machines are like card activated. You can use a card.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not real money. I'd have just thrown all the money in the world at it. I have about 80 debt because I just keep using my card.
Yeah, it's dangerous, that is. She's like, oh, it's just 80p, I'll put it on the card, and then it all adds up, obviously.
Yeah, but there's a little fella called Future Sheepdog that I don't really care for. And as long as current me's okay, I don't care what that rat fool has happened to him. He'll figure it out. He's a clever chap, he always figures it out.
Yeah, Kevin says that a lot. So
look at him now. He's
We're
eating
not living in a swamp, are we?
Chinese starters at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. The man's living the dream.
Which, by the way, still aren't here yet.
Yeah, they did say 20.
No, been bought out by Just Eat.
Who has?
Hungry House. Don't
Oh, yeah, that happened ages ago. Everyone knows that. I thought you were giving us breaking news then.
I ordered takeaway so irregularly, I wasn't familiar with this.
Actually, as my finger is firmly on the pulse of the local takeaways, and unfortunately that pulse is weakening because of obesity.
Wow.
So, Pab, you had some games you'd played that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
There was a point tonight where I thought this would only be a quick hour, and I'd be curled up watching The Last Leg, wondering whether they'll ever retweet my goddamn tweet.
And then Anna had to print a label, and it all went downhill from there.
So what have you actually played?
Yes, so I've gone back to my PSVR this last week, because I keep buying games for it and not playing them. So every time there's a sale on, I just have a quick look and, there's a VR game on there, I fancy that, I'll play that. So I do that. So I've just been like, I've got like 5 or 6 games stacked up, and it's just because it's a bit of a pain to set up and commitment. Well, it's been in this hot weather. I don't want to put a VR headset on in this sweltering heat. So I booted it up. I tried Skyrim VR. It's fine, but it's hard work. It's real hard work. It's a weird control system. I need to try it because there's an option to play it with the move controllers or play it with the just play it with the controller. And I don't know whether that'd make me feel sick or not. Okay, Anna. Bye-bye, Anna. Anna's going. So PSVR is Skyrim VR. Sorry, it's kind of strange. It's like cool because it is Skyrim. It is the full Skyrim, but like there's like the weird thing of like See, I've tried. I thought I'll use the move controllers because I was using them for other games anyway. But then there's like the top button moves you forward, and then another button moves you backward, and then like there's two buttons on either side of the right analogs, the right controller that's like rotates you left and right, and it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. So you kind of get used to it.
I think it would just make me go. Bleh.
Yeah, I think it's probably the closest I've ever felt to being sick. I mean, to be fair, I played the last time it felt like this was when I played Drive Club at EGX when we were doing one of these, demos that we had booked for us, and I felt sick playing that after a while. But then again, I have also bought Drive Club VR and played it this past week and not had a problem with it at all. So I don't know what it was, whether it was like the whole thing of like having the steering wheel and the pedals and the whole racing seat and what have you, and feeling amazing. Because what made me feel sick was like there was no. I feel like there should have been some sort of G-force when I was taking the corners and what have you, and that was what kind of threw me off. Where nothing was actually happening when I was turning the corner. I didn't feel any force where I felt like there should be. I think that's what was making me feel sick. Whereas this time I was just playing with the controller, just stood up on it, and it felt fine, realistically. And I kind of enjoyed that one. I kind of enjoyed Drive Club VR. So, what else have I got? A game that I enjoyed the most is called Headmaster.
Ooh.
Hello?
I think Anna wants to talk about Kev's takeaway or something.
Kev wants
I just
to.
wondered if people wanted to know what appetizers.
Not really, but go on.
I've got some prawn toast. I've got
Nice.
some kiwi, which I wouldn't count as an appetizer, really.
Kiwi?
Seaweed.
Spare ribs. There's what I guess is some kind of crispy ball. I'm not sure what's in it yet. Some spring rolls and what I'm assuming is a football match coffee, or it could be some kind of sauce in a little cup. It's I'll level with you. I don't know if this was worth a level with.
Sauce could be chicken and sweet corn broth.
Shall we? Oh my word, that's very sweet and sour.
You
very-
didn't drink it, did you?
Yeah, we did.
I just have a little taste.
Oh, my
Wow.
So, is that it for games, Pab?
Bye.
Bye.
All right, see you later, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.
No, far
No,
from it.
no, it wasn't. I wasn't serious. I knew. It
Oh,
was.
right, okay. So, yeah, I've been playing a game that I enjoyed the most. I went back to it a few times, actually. A game called Headmaster, where you are playing a game of basically just heading a ball. Just playing keepy-uppy headers and doing challenges involving heading a ball into a net. And it's simple, but incredibly fun and difficult at the same time. So it comes on, like, you said sit down, and you won't need any controls. All you need to do is move yourself around and just sort of nod the ball in the net, sort of thing. So it's like, right, okay. But then it's like challenges are like, you've got to get like you got to get certain scores, and each time you get a threshold, you get another star, and no matter you get any level, is 3 stars. So you do that, and then it turns out that you need a certain number of stars to get to the test. That you take a test after level 10, I think, or something like that. And then you move on, and you need a number of stars to get to the next test and what have you. But like, there's like tests are like, oh, you're just going to throw like these like ball machines, just fire these ball machines that you've got to edit at the scoreboards in the net, and then occasionally they'll throw like a dummy goalkeeper in, and you've got to sort of nod it around the goalkeeper, or there's like a wall in front of you, you can only edit underneath the wall and into the net and stuff like that. But it's just like it's strangely like addictive. I kind of just wanted to keep playing it until I got to like level 19, I think, and I just couldn't do it. I just could not fathom how to do it because like it's like some getting raided tonight, aren't we? It's people popping in and out left and right. That was Kev, I think. Yep, Kev's typing something. Anyway, so yeah, that was my favourite of the games. Oh, he had to put in the chat chicken balls. So one of the crispy balls was a chicken ball. Apparently, there we go. Update live update on the podcast. The listeners are wondering, scrambling to his Twitter now, seeing if he'd updated on Twitter. It was chicken balls. No, it's all right. We can update you. It is chicken balls. But yeah, that was my favourite game that I played in VR last week. And I've kept it set up. I've kept the set up there. So, I've kept the set up there. So there's a chance I will play more of it. There's a chance I'll play more of it. There's probably a chance I'll buy some more.
It's like non-committal.
Well, it's like you need a chunk of time to yourself, sort of thing, to play this sort of thing. So, because you don't want people walking in on you and really messing with you while you're really batting around, because you can't see anything. And you plug the headphones in, you can't hear anything. So you don't want
right. You definitely said this.
Yeah, go on.
I forgot you said this was a VR game, and I was imagining it differently as you were talking, forgetting that obviously you're going to be jumping around doing the heading. Makes complete sense.
It's simple. It's such a simple idea of the game, and it's like it's got humour to it as well. It reminded me it adds humour similar to. It reminded me a little bit like Portal 2 maybe, or the Stanley Parable. It has like a humour, like a narrator going like, "This is what you need to do," and then occasionally it seems like an automated voice message type thing, and then occasionally someone else will come on going, "What are you doing?" Someone else will come and start talking to you over the tannoy system that's going on, and it's just got some good humour to that game, the Headmaster, and it's like I say, it's bizarre. It's such a simple concept but done really well. So that's it for VR games. There are a few others, but I've not played them enough to give any opinion on them, really. The last game... this week has been a weird week for me, where I've just not really played anything of any significance. I've just kind of been comfort gaming, so I've played a fair amount of Rocket League. I've been playing that on Switch. And I've been playing... And I don't know what it is, but the people playing on Switch that I get matched up with are simpletons. Absolute simpletons. I don't know if it's just because I'm such a low level on there, because I played for like over 100 hours on the PC. But on this, I've not played anywhere near that. So I'm just being put into games with just people that aren't really playing it very often, or maybe young kids or whatever, because of just the level I'm playing at. But I'm enjoying Rocket League again. I've even played a bit on the PC this week, just because of it's been in that week where it's like, I can't be bothered playing anything particularly stressful. I just want to play something quite simple. The other game I've played, I've finished Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, I finished it yonks ago, and then I started playing the DLC. And then I got to a certain point, and I loaded the game up, because I wanted to play that Rise of the Tomb Raider, because the new one's coming out soon. And I had like a real itching to play some more Tomb Raider, so I thought, I'll go back to that game. I didn't finish the DLC. And I loaded it up, and I went, I remember why I did. I stopped playing this. This level is bonkers. So I went right straight to YouTube. Went, how the hell do I do this? And it involved a series of like levers and pulleys and shooting arrows and ropes and stuff. And I was like, how the hell would I have got this? It would have just boggled the mind. So I did it, jumped across the platform, and I went into the final boss.
Oh, so yeah,
I was right there.
I hate that in games. Sometimes you think they need to be a bit more. That's got to be their design and not your skill. I've had a friend before who got bored in Final Fantasy IX. He said to me, I got bored somewhere late on, turned it on, and he went, do you want to see how far from the end I am? And I was like, if you walk through that door, it's the final boss. And it's exactly the same sort of thing. He'd just given up, whereas he obviously decided it was just like a bit too complicated. Games need to tell you more, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like, it probably was a simple puzzle. It's just I just couldn't see it at all. I was thinking it was, like at a certain point it just becomes too much for you, and you need to step away. And even when I went straight back to it, I went and did the exact same things I was doing when I last loaded it up. So I just went, right, just get a YouTube video, and then I went and did the final boss, and then I spent probably another half an hour, maybe an hour at the end of that. And it said like, oh, the hallucinogenic gas has gone now. You can just have a wander around here, and it just shows you all like the points on the map where like the collectibles are. So I was like, okay, I'll just start cleaning these up. And then I got to one that's just like, it seemed doable. It seemed just about doable. And I couldn't do it at all. It's like one of the things where it's just like, that doesn't seem possible, but it probably is. And then it definitely was possible. I just couldn't get it right. I couldn't get the time right. It was like, pull this platform out. You then got a timer to 30 seconds to run across another platform, let it spin round, get onto another platform, and the platform that you'd raised, it's got a timer on it. Should be able to, you should get it just in time before it drops back down, and you can get onto where the collectible is. I couldn't do it at all. I kept falling off the ledge every time I was making the final jump, and it's just like, nope, that's it. I'm done. Just like that's it. I'm done with this game now. Got to a save point, turned it off. I was like, that for me, I'm concerned that now I'm complete with that game. I've done it all, and I loved that game. I really did. So yeah, that is about it for games. So go on.
Just connecting to Tomb Raider, I got the reboot one did a while back, and that's another one where I was so excited. It looked awesome. Just made me violently ill.
Really?
So I never got to complete it. I remember talking about it at length about how amazing it was, but then when I went back, it just destroyed me. So it was quite annoying. When I did my little vlog about it, about just why I don't play many new games, and realizing how many massive titles I've just never really got into, it does feel like a massive hole. Tomb Raider is a big one where I really enjoy it, and I like the whole kind of, well, the tomb raiding, do you know what I mean? The history to it and that sort of thing. Yeah. And it's like, I'm missing out on that. It's frustrating as hell. But yeah, that's why I prefer, and this is a segue, TV and film, because I don't get motion sick watching that unless it's the likes of Cloverfield or some sort of weird, bad, janky looking
shaky cam footage.
But I had none of that problem watching the whole season of Orange is the New Black this week.
You watched it all now, have you? Okay.
Yeah, all of it, all 13 episodes. This is probably the darkest season they've done, and I think on balance, I absolutely enjoyed it, thought it was brilliant, and it kept me watching the entire season. And I mean, by the finale, I was edge of my seat. I was getting hit up, and Mr. Sheepdog had to say, like, it's only a program. And I was just like, yeah, I know, but I'm so frustrated about how it's going to go and what's going to happen and who's going to be where and what I think is going to happen. And, you know, and it had a great end of season wrap up sort of thing, you know, of the, you know, bits and pieces that were going on and whatever. And yeah, I'm not going to do any spoilers, obviously, not a lunatic, but, you know, I felt like, okay, that's that done for a year. And it feels really weird thinking most shows we obviously watch for at least a couple of months at a time, or, you know, across 6 months or whatever. This seems to just be a program that I watch once a week obsessively for a year. Like every year, sorry.
Yeah.
I watch it for 4 days straight, and then I don't see or think about it again for another year. It's such a weird system, because you think if they're doing it, I mean, I suppose it takes some time to film and whatnot, but you think they'd rattle out seasons every 6 months or something to maintain the momentum. But I just don't know what to expect next year now. It's mental. And again, I always do the same thing. I finish watching it, I go and read online about all the different bits and bobs they talk about.
Right.
And then I sort of forget about all that. And then in a year's time, I have to watch the previously on. And it's just weird. I think Better Call Saul's the next one on the list and stuff like that. But I've not touched Preach still. I've not touched a few bits, but this program's just, it was funnier than maybe last season, but I feel like the mistake they made was splitting everybody up massively. So they took a few of the characters that were quite endearing and moved them away from, like, I don't know if you watch it, but last year there was 2 girls that were doing a YouTube channel together.
Right.
And they split them up this season. So there was a riot going on
in prison.
Yeah, there was a riot in the prison, and they got hold of a phone, I guess, and they started, I think it was a phone, they started doing vlogs, and they're like 2 pretty girls who were doing about like prison makeup and trying to look good and all of this, that, and the other, and it became like famous. And then they split them up this season, and it was like, well then, so one of them wasn't even in it. And I guess in real life she must have had a job to do somewhere else or whatever, but it was like, they were a real big part of last year. Why didn't you include them again? I mean, maybe they just didn't want to rehash the same characters, the same partnerships. They mixed it up a bit, but I'm guessing next year they'll bring her back in and crack on, because they didn't write her out. But Yeah, it's one of those where I just thought there was lots of bits that were really good about last year that they ignored this year. There were bits about last year that were bad, and they've fixed them this year.
Right.
It was just very, very dark, considering. And I mean, it lightened up as the story went along, but for the first maybe 6 episodes, I was thinking, this is too dark for Orange is the New Black. Might as well have been Prison Break. But, like, even that wasn't that dark. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Good.
The other TV thing I wanted to talk about, this is more of a kids program, but I've been watching it with my son, called Over the Garden Wall. I don't think I mentioned the show before. It's a Cartoon Network cartoon. I don't know who makes it. It reminds me of, like, echoes of, like, Gravity Falls, and that sort of, it's for kids, but there's a bit of an adult jokiness to it. It's just about 2 boys trying to get home. They're walking home. I don't even know how far away their home seems to be. They seem to be just walking home in the first episode, but they've been walking for ages. They're friends with a talking bluebird. They just stumble across these really sinister people. They come across a farm that was like it was a farm, and they're trying to grab some food to eat. They go to eat a pumpkin, and it turns out that all of the people are pumpkin people. And
Wow. It's got a cool cast.
Yeah, who's in it? Because I didn't read the
Wood,
cast.
Elijah Wood, Christopher Lloyd, Tim Curry.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Okay. See, it is good. It's been entertaining and witty. And they're only 10-minute episodes. Yeah. Oh. So what I find odd, I don't know if my son finds it a bit scary sometimes or what, but sometimes he really, really wants to watch the next one, and sometimes he's like, no, don't watch anymore. And not in like because I don't like it or because I'm busy or whatever. He just seems desperate not to watch the next one. I think some of them unsettle him slightly. But yeah, John Cleese in it, apparently.
John Cleese, yeah, because reading through it, John Cleese as well, yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised. I missed Adventure Time's another one. Because obviously that's just them on an adventure, isn't it? Continuously. Yeah. I'm pleased to see it does have a few episodes. No, actually, I think it's only had 1 season. They are making a season 2, I believe. I'm guessing that's why Netflix have it on. But yeah, it's entertaining. I hope it wraps up at the end of this season with the story that they're trying to get to their home, Adelaide, and the oldest kid walks around wearing a dunce hat, which I thought was quite entertaining, and the other one wears a teapot upside down on his head and has a pet frog that sits in the top of it. And he's just hilarious. I can't remember which one. Elijah Wood's the older brother.
Right. I
can't remember who voices the younger kid, but they're just entertaining. It's a great little cartoon. It's one of those where I put it on just for the sake of it, and then it's just been quite fun. I'm trying to think. There was another one I was watching, and what's it called? Moon something. Oh, damn it.
Can't help you with this one, Sheepdog.
No, it's like Space Force or something. And it's oh, damn it. I need to find the name of it. I'll talk about it. So it's a cartoon about a guy who's in prison on a ship, and the ship's kind of just talking to him and keeping him going. And he keeps trying to say he's the captain of the ship, and the ship's saying, you're not the captain, you're just a prisoner. You're here for another 100 days or whatever. And it's Final Space. Final Space. So then he's like kicking off and going nuts about it all, and like he doesn't want to be stuck on the ship. And then he meets this little thing that he calls Moon Bug, I don't know, Moon Face. I'm trying to find a name. You'd think I'd remember. I'm trying to review it. It's just this green moon cake, he calls it. It's a little green blob thing. So he thinks it's really cute and innocent and lovely, but it's actually a planet destroying little thing that like. There's like loads of meteorites heading towards his ship, and while he's not really looking, some of this ginormous laser from its face, and it goes back to being really innocent. And there's this evil like being that's trying to track down Mooncake, either because he wants to use him as a weapon or I don't know, kill him or whatever. And then there's all these like bounty hunters, which are like cat people and other types of people that, are trying to hunt Mooncake down, and some of them join the main guy. And then seems to be time travel-y stuff. And it feels a bit like they're trying to combine Family Guy, Rick and Morty, and just other bits and bobs like that. Rick and Morty feels like what they've aimed for when they started doing it. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
hit Rick and Morty at all, but it is entertaining enough. The unfortunate thing is, it's one of these where I'm trying to put it. Wife goes to bed, but then obviously I'm so tired when that happens. That's why I couldn't remember the name of it or the name of the characters, because I've been watching it at like 12:30 at night when I should be asleep, because I can't sleep. But then I doze off after 10 minutes, and then I have to rewind it, and then I watched episode 1 and 2 several times to finally get it. But yeah, it's not many episodes on Netflix, but it seems entertaining. It's all there. I'm going to watch through it. I don't think it's going to be the most highbrow thing imaginable, but yeah, it's fun. There's 10 episodes. It seems fun. Worth a punt.
Super, Sheepdog. Super. You got anything else for me?
Not on the telly. Have you seen anything?
So I'm continuing to watch Preacher and continue to want it to be better than it is.
I've been really put off it, not by you, just by expectations.
It's like I'm going to just talk to you about this episode because it's bonkers. The episode's so there is an old heist thing going on where Grandma is tethered to Tulip. So if you kill Grandma, Tulip dies.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tulip was brought back at the start of the season by Grandma, and she linked their soul together. So they can't kill the Grandma, and then to get her out of this sort of thing, because she's slowly dying, Grandma, because Tulip killed her, and then he managed to bring her back, and she's slowly dying. So they need souls to keep her alive. So they have to get the Grail involved. And the Grail have access to all the souls in the world, sort of thing. This big old soul bank vault. So they've got to go. So Tulip, the Star's assistant, I can't remember her name now, and Jodie go on a heist to Japan, Osaka, Japan. Yeah, that's it. They go on a heist to Japan. That's where the vault is. So they're all dressed in Grail gear. They're on a heist to go and get this stuff. And then while that's going on, for that all to go down, Jesse has to go with Star to basically kill the All Father. And it's just bizarre because I don't remember this happening in the book.
No.
Where there's like he literally turns up and shoots him, and you think he's dead, and he just gets up again and pulls the bullet out of him, and he goes, "You have to do better than that, mate. There's lots of fat here, or whatever it is. Lots of you got to get through a lot of fat to get to him, because he's like a big like Humpty Dumpty man, isn't he? Huge, the All Father." And then they put him on this like gurney like table thing, and then they just plug this thing to the front of it and suck his soul out and putting it into Humperdoo, trying to get the Messiah that way, to put the Genesis into Humperdoo, and then it happens, and he instantly explodes, and it goes back to Jesse, and he goes, "See, it ain't going to happen." And then he goes, "It's all right, we've got more of them." And it turns out they've just made clones of him constantly, and they keep genetically modifying him till the Genesis accepts the body sort of thing.
Maybe that was implied, and I missed that.
I don't think that had happened at all.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that happened at all.
Because I thought the whole point was they just thought Jesse could be the holder. And that was the point.
Well, that's what Star wants, but Star wants the All Father dead so that can go ahead, but the All Father wants it to be done this way, and he can't like go against him right now because he's up against it. He was expecting the All Father to be dead by now by lots of things, and Star's having to just go along with whatever he's saying because he's still on his side, so he's still trying to like keep up appearances. So it's just bizarre. And then there's the whole thing with like Cassidy in New Orleans with his vampire mate. That's a strange one. And who's the guy that was in the Grail who got told to go and count the sand? I can't remember his name now.
I can't remember his name. But, yeah.
But you know what I mean. The guy, the other right hand man to Star. He is made into a vampire because he goes after Cassidy. And he's got a choice of either get killed or become a vampire.
Feels like they've just got all over the place, doesn't it?
It's bonkers. It's like they're trying to appease certain things. They're trying to make things more like to the mainstream sort of thing, and to do so, they're meant to unravel so many other things.
Do you think you'd be fussed if you hadn't read it?
No.
Because I think like my wife will really enjoy it.
Don't get me wrong. I kind of look forward to waiting for it every week because I'm waiting for it to be absolutely amazing. That's what I'm waiting for, and it will be at one point. At some point, it will be amazing. And up to now, it's just kind of, it's alright. It's worth watching, but I wouldn't. I would say I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. I kind of am going out of my way to watch it because every single time it's on a Monday, it comes out every Monday, and I get it from work and I just put it straight on. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing to myself. I'm just permanently disappointed every single time because it's like, just stick to the book. I'm sick of keep saying this every week. Just stick to the book.
Man on that.
Something more positive. Better Call Saul is back.
Has it been good? Because I've not started that yet.
First two episodes are out there now. Third one will be out next week. Superb again. Absolutely amazing.
I'm looking forward to cracking on with that. And part of me wants to just leave it to build up.
Well, maybe it's up to you. But I've been watching it once a week, so it's not like I don't binge stuff anyway. But yeah, it's just been. It's still Better Call Saul. It's still amazing television to watch. And like I say, it's only on once a week because it's on Netflix. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and like I say, can't fault it at all.
Part of me was hoping, because it's going to reach Breaking Bad time soon, I'm hoping they just. I mean, I'd be quite happy if they basically had the moment happen where they meet and then just did a fast forward through every scene with Saul in, like, and then just carried the program on from there.
The
next episode.
It's kind of like it's about the journey, isn't it, from getting there?
It is,
and it's slowly unraveling. That's the thing. It's slowly unraveling, and it's like becoming clearer and clearer. The fog is clearing every single.
Well, it can't be more than a year, and I don't think the show will end when it gets to. It's not going to end with Bryan Cranston walking in, going, "Help me out."
No, it won't do that because it'll get to the point where, pretty much where he becomes him. I don't think they'll go much past he becomes him realistically because.
Well, they've got all the Cinnabon stuff, so I think they will. I think.
Well, they've got that as well. They've got that as well, and the drip feeding that, aren't they? Because that's in like maybe 2 or 3 episodes a season, maybe at the minute. It's drip fed.
So I think they're normalising that, and then I don't know. Someone maybe because he doesn't really get any comeuppance. Like spoilers slightly for Breaking Bad. Like yes, he does, but he also doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't get any real world comeuppances.
Well, you see,
helping anyone out in Breaking Bad. It's like after the event, so I kind of feel like we could see more. It's almost a bit like it can go from being a prequel to being Breaking Bad's Frasier, where it just carries on the universe for the rest of time. Because I think it's strong enough that it probably could do at least a couple of seasons after it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just joking.
Choking? Because I mentioned Frasier, which they're bringing back apparently.
Got me all choked up.
You're right.
Yeah. I kind of lost my voice a little bit. Sorry.
Just trying to cover for you. I'm like, yeah, they're bringing that back. Isn't that shocking? You're choking even more. Turns out you're allergic to the word Frasier, and I just keep saying it.
Oh, I love Frasier. It's great.
I can't say it, as I probably showed just then.
No, there is comeuppance to it because, as you've seen in these, there is just a constant. You can see he's just in a world of fear now. He's just constantly.
Well, he's in a world of fear, but he's still got a steady job in the Cinnabon, and that's my point.
Oh yeah, but it's not like the job he had, though, is it? It's not a lawyer. He works
but that's why I think it should progress on. Maybe it'd be like the rebuild, post Breaking Bad. He's got to go back to being McGill. You know,
well, he probably can't. That's why he had to become Saul Goodman. He probably can't go back to Jimmy McGill because he's as bad as Saul Goodman. He's up the creek as much as Saul Goodman
He
is.
can become Saul Badman.
Well, maybe, but like I say, there is this episode in particular, this season. It shows the effects that this is having on him. In the future, in the start, in the black and white in the future, like the current timeline of like how the situation of him working as but is in the toll it's taking on him. So it does show it. There's definitely like the toll that the price he's paying for the fact that he's had to go into hiding and become somebody else completely. So it is there. It's just, we'll
see what happens, I suppose. I get they'll just have to make a decision. It'll probably come down to how much money they're offered to keep it going, wouldn't it? Really?
Well, there's that, and I think that Vince Gilligan, the guy who makes it, is also very shrewd in the sense of I don't think he necessarily will go. You can throw much money. I think he will say you can throw as much money as you want. It goes
he's got a story to tell.
Because I mean, like Breaking Bad could have gone on for another 5-6 seasons easily. If they'd have thrown the money at it at the by the point by the time he was saying I'm done, this is the end of it. If it was for the money, he could have milked it and made it, another 5-6 seasons. And I think he's got the same idea with this. I think he's got a whole plan, and I just don't think it'll go. I mean, you're right. It might be a Frasier and go for twice as long as what the original Breaking Bad did.
I want to see Hugh's Rules with Hugh in it. That was the great jokey spin-off that people talked about, where it was him stuck in the what's it called, the safe house with his family, just keeping him safe, sneaking out, hiding from Heisenberg for 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, who knows where this is going to go?
You can't even do a Jessie spin-off because the program Jessie already exists. It's about a young girl babysitting for millionaires.
No.
It's a catchy theme tune, though.
New one for you. I didn't know that.
And the woman in that is in a new program on Netflix that it's called Insatiable. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm surprised that somebody who was a Disney Channel star is now in a program with a title like Insatiable.
Oh, I'll have to look at it.
It's a bit blue.
Oh, that's not the reason I wanted to check it out. I just said I'll just check it out like as a general thing. It wasn't like, oh no, you've piqued my interest.
From Disney Channel to blue, you're in.
That was a bit of blue. No, it's not that.
But no, that is my lot for telly. Have you got any other bits?
Yeah, I've got that. Is it? Yeah. Go on.
So I went down a few rabbit holes this week in the old comics. I'm going to quickly glaze over the fact that am I right in thinking it's only going to be, or is it 45?
Sorry, say that again.
Wicked and Divine.
There's only a certain number of them. I couldn't tell you what number that is because.
No, I mean, are they only? Kev said they're only going to. Maybe it ends in. So maybe it's only got 4 left, but 42 seems like a weird number to finish on. It's on 38 at the moment.
It could just be like, I don't know how many is it per trade. You know what I mean? It's like they've got 6 issues of trade. How many trades are we looking to put out? Sort of thing.
I remember a few weeks ago I was saying about wanting it to end so I could finish it, and Kev saying literally they just tweeted saying they'd finished number 38. Well, I read number 38, and I'm at a point now where I'm forgetting what's happening in between comics, and
to my world.
I'm not really good at tracking the characters, and so I'm not really sure what's happening anymore. So many characters are being killed or changed or whatever. It's getting a bit complicated. Yeah, so I'm wondering whether I have to save them up.
Yeah, so I'm like, I've got to pretty much go back and read multiple trades before I can get into the gist of what's going on before the next trade comes out because I can't keep up.
I'm pondering rereading the whole thing once it's 50 or whatever, once it's done.
I mean, maybe that might be a thing I do.
It's not too hard to do that many.
Not with such a short run,
Yeah. But then I mentioned last week that I kept staying up late with my jet lag to read the Flash War story, and that was very, very cool. Lots of stuff. Basically, it seems like so Superman did a whole rebirth thing where it was basically trying to untangle and weave through his entire history to make one timeline. And even in his 1000th Action Comics, they even covered off a reason why in the very, very early Superman comics he didn't have half the powers or half the lore that he has now, by basically saying that Mixix or whatever his name is, the fifth dimensional clown thing that ruins Superman's life all the time. Do you know that?
Right.
Yeah. So that he's a nemesis of Superman, fifth dimensional being that messes with time and space frequently. And the only way to defeat him is to say his name backwards. And it sends him back to whatever dimension he came from. It's complicated, and I'm not doing it justice. But he basically, what they've done to kind of fix some of the holes in the very early history, is they've written a story about how he curses Superman to live his life from the start through to now, over and over again in a cycle that Superman can't break, and messes with him, changing who he is and all this. So it justifies some of when he was just a man with super strength who solved crime for like a couple of editions, and then it turned out he was an alien that could do a load of other stuff. It covers some of the inconsistencies there, but then they also covered some of the later bits where there's actually 4 or 5 different versions of Superman that are all supposed to be the Earth 1 Superman, and they will have different memories and stories and whatever, and they've smushed all that out. So Superman had this whole thing where it did that, and now it's all making a lot more sense and it's all clean. But Flash still has tons of inconsistencies like that. I mean, Wally West, for example, was the Flash for ages and then got lost in the Speed Force and everyone forgot who he was. And is it Abracadabra? Is that what they call him? I can't remember. He's a magician villain from the future. He wiped everyone's memories and made everyone forget who Wally West was and all sorts of stuff like that. And they're using that as a way to fix any historical inconsistencies that are going on with the Flash's timeline and the fact that Flashpoint happened and all the outcomes of that over the years. And considering Flashpoint was was it a 90s story? I can't remember now. I'm losing track of what's old and what's not. But Flash was dead in this canon for a long, long time and then came back. And in that gap, Wally West was the Flash. And so there's loads of bits and pieces like that don't add up, like by the sheer fact that the Flash isn't 80 years old and Iris is still young and all this. And it's interesting because they're now trying to weave in had a wife and had kids, and there was a whole Flash family of people that were involved and had powers, and they've all been wiped from history and lost, and Wally's starting to remember them and he wants to get them back. And Zoom and the Reverse Flash were involved in a big story arc that caused the Flash War, as it was called, and now it's all starting to straighten out again, and they're all starting to look at it. And what I mentioned last week about the Sanctuary story about heroes getting over post-traumatic stress disorder and that sort of thing. This story feeds straight into that. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have come and they've fetched Wally West and are taking him to Sanctuary to give him a bit of a time out to help him get over his stress disorder and the fact that he's just remembered that he had an entire family and a pair of kids who he'd lived with to like the age of 10 and they don't exist anymore and he can't find them and all this. And it was fantastic reading. I really enjoyed it. The Flash story has been great, and when I was reading through it, I was thinking if the Flash had this level of writing the whole way through its run, I don't think there'd be a trinity. It'd be a quadrilogy. I don't know. They wouldn't be able to just say, "Oh yeah, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are the big three." I feel like if the writing had been this good, I know that the Justice League is the equivalent, essentially getting at, but you can't really say that Aquaman and Cyborg and everyone else has had the level of writing. I imagine they have had at some point, and that's probably, again, I'm shooting my own point in the foot, but like the Flash could easily have replaced Batman, say. If Batman hadn't had such awesome villains, Flash could have easily, better than him. It's mad thinking how underrated he's been over the years. Someone asked me the other day who my favourites were, and I was saying I'm starting to think the Flash stories are so good. I'm loving it. So then, speaking of Superman,
okay, go on.
I got confused because I started reading Action Comics 1001,
right?
And everyone's asking where the hell Lois Lane is, and they're all asking Clark Kent what's going on, and some woman at the Daily Planet is saying, so it's Perry White's moaning because the Daily Planet's going under and they're not able to make any news because no one really follows the stories anymore. No one thinks that the news is entertaining. They're not making any stories, so on and so forth. Lois Lane's disappeared. Someone's telling Clark Kent that they've heard that Lois has left him and she's now seeing Superman. And Clark Kent's like, what? I don't think that's true. And they're like, well, that's what my sources are telling me, and you're not telling me where your wife's gone. You're not telling me where your kids are. Your son is, sorry. You're keeping quiet about it. I hear on the grapevine this has happened. And he's kind of thinking, well, I know that's not what happened. And I'm reading this comic and I'm thinking, well, I don't know what's happened because I've gone from 1000 to 1001 and Lois Lane's disappeared inexplicably. So then I went and tried to find Superman comics, and I read the most up-to-date one of that, and it was Return to Dinosaur Island. And I'm thinking, well, she doesn't go missing in that. She's at home. He takes Jonathan Kent off to Dinosaur Island to save this World War II soldier, or World War I soldier. I can't even remember what war he's from. They'd met him in an older comic. He was stuck on Dinosaur Island, and they went back and met him, and they rescued him and took him times.
That's nice.
And thinking again, yeah, it was a nice one-off story. Well, like a second part two of a whole story. But he gets home and Lois is like, next time you leave, don't just leave me a note, maybe wake me up and tell me you're going to Dinosaur Island with my son. And I'm thinking again, she's still there. She's not left. What's going on? So I'm sat there digging around for ages. And then I realized there was this 6-part run that come out. I don't even know when. Like, it must have been over the past 3 months at least, unless they did them weekly for 6 weeks or something. But Man of Steel, where
yes, this is the Brian Michael Bendis stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, I didn't realise that Bendis had done this. They kept saying Bendis is coming. Bendis is going to write a story. Here comes Bendis, and I'm just like, okay, it'll be here soon. I missed this coming out completely.
Yeah, it's like a prelude into 1001.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
So I read through that over a night. I mean, I started reading it at about 11:30, thinking I'll read one, and it was about 2:00 in the morning by the time I finished reading it.
Brilliant.
And I really enjoyed it. It was all about. So again, I was a bit miffed because I thought, oh, this will explain where it's gone, and it didn't for the first 5. I'm like,
it suddenly wraps up quick in the 6th, does it?
It just mentions it in the 6th, like it's not even a particularly major. I mean, I could talk about it on here, and it's not even a spoiler, to be fair. A character wants to take Jonathan Kent on a bit of a spiritual growing up, coming of age journey, which I guess is just another excuse to write an awesome comic. And Lois is like, well, he's not going on his own. He's 10, so I'm going to come with him. So they go off on this journey together. For him to kind of grow up and come of age and learn about his powers, while Superman and Clark Kent just carry on at home, paying the bills and saving the world. So Clark/Superman are just going about their business. I don't get why he's acting so weird about it. I don't get why he doesn't, because Green Lantern asks him what's going on, why he seems so down, and he just doesn't. He doesn't say, "Oh, Lois has gone on this journey," and
I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know the whole thought. I don't know if it's like this character might not be, a reputable person. I don't know. I just don't know.
Maybe he doesn't want to open up and tell people. Yeah, you're right. Maybe there's. I don't know, but it was odd. It was like he was just hiding it from everyone, and there was no reason why Clark Kent couldn't just say, "Oh, she's gone to visit her dad." He lives in Europe somewhere. I think he was an army, doing some army thing. He could have easily covered, but in the comic they're making out that this is massive drama going on, this massive conspiracy, and they're all mocking him and saying that his missus has run away with Superman, and it's quite funny because obviously he is Superman. But and then I'm liking the whole print media is dying. The Daily Planet is in disarray, and part of me thinks, is he just going to end up creating a load of drama to film it? There's also an ongoing story that someone keeps setting fires in Metropolis, and they're doing it right under Superman's nose, but he can't find who's doing it. Part of me felt like that's just a Batman story, isn't it? They're retelling the Firefly story from Batman. But it's interesting nonetheless because he can't figure it out. And somebody went and told the head of the fire department had seen Superman setting the fires, and Superman was like, wait, what? So he had to be interviewed by the fire department about setting fires, which I thought was quite entertaining.
Nice.
In my hunt for Man of Steel,
yes,
answers on that. The last one I want to talk about, that I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm delighted there's more content, but I'm gutted that my collection is no longer complete. I came across Sandman Universe.
Wow.
Neil Gaiman has decided he's not content with the fact that he made 10 graphic novels worth of comics, plus loads of spin-offs and one-offs and all the other things that I've painstakingly collected over the past year and a half. He's now kicked off the Sandman universe, which is going to have one comic with Sandman, one comic with a kid who gets magic powers, and then a few other different comics about the various members of his family and the world of Sandman. And I'm guessing Lucifer must tie in, because I know they mentioned that Lucifer returns to hell in the story. So I'm guessing the Lucifer comics will be tied into it. But it seems like DC and Vertigo, who make Sandman together, they're doing a whole massive spin-off giant world with Sandman. And I'm thinking, I can't collect all of this. I have to wait for it. But I was delighted. And as I say, I was a little bit like, damn it, you're dragging me back in. It was great fun reading it, though. I can't believe I never saw this coming. I feel like I need better comic news sources, because this has been out a week and I hadn't even heard it existed. I should have been like pre-ordering it.
Yeah, I had heard about it, but only through like Twitter. I'd seen people, a lot, like Forbidden Planet and whatever I follow on Twitter, retweet loads of people that have been getting it and, pre-ordered it and getting it through the post and like taking pictures. I'm like, oh, it's a new Sandman, I presume.
I wondered whether it'd be the same, and it literally just kicks straight off with there's certain characters in it that I love, like the janitor who looks after the Sandman has his own castle that he lives in, and he's got like a librarian that keeps this library of books that never actually got made. They're all the books that like people thought about making but never did, or versions that people said existed but they never, you know what I mean, just like director's cuts or whatever that don't actually exist. So he keeps this library full of them. There's this janitor caretaker type person that's just a pumpkin headed, just like a Halloween person, just wanders around smoking a cigar, doing the general janitorial stuff. And there's a raven that used to be a human that just flies around helping out and stuff like that. There's just all these characters that were in the 10 graphic novels that he'd written over the space of like 15 years. They're all just there in this first one, just going about their business, running the place. And I'm thinking, this is amazing. It's like a reunion of all these characters that I spent the past year reading about. They're all there. They're all going about their day to day. And, apparently Sandman's decided to quit, and they're trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do. I'm guessing he'll have some sort of crisis and it'll keep going from there. But no, I'm well happy that it's back. It does give me more to collect, but I can't collect yet because obviously they've not bundled them up.
No. Soon.
Yeah. Sorry, I've waffled at you, really. I should have maybe given you bits to talk about in between, but I will listen to what
you're all right. So I've got my usual one trade a week that I try and do. This week is Curse Words Volume 3. No, I probably spoke about all the other curse words. You all right there?
I'm just imagining a dictionary full of swear words.
Yeah, so in different languages.
A through to G.
No, so this is the book where there is not a not a superhuman world, but like a godlike world, and there is one particular wizard who got through, who was sent to Earth to destroy Earth, and then chose not to. He disobeyed his ultimate, like the big boss, and we're like, no, I'm just going to stay here instead, and I can become like the god of this world. I can be like the big one, like I can help everybody and become like loved and beloved by the human race. And the whole setting up to this has been like how he's learning to become human. He's learning humanity basically, and because initially he was like, I'll deal with things like by just making people explode and stuff like that, and people are like horrified by him, and people are more frightened of him than they are wanting, trying to adoring him. And the same point, there is obviously Syzygy, which is the big bad, the big leader in the whole world where he came from, sends all his other like minion people that his other gods to go and fetch him and kill him, and he pretty much kills them all, except for one who is his ex-girlfriend, who is Ruby Fizz, I think her name is, yeah. And then she ends up cutting the cord from from the whole world as well and decides to stay in Earth as well. But they lose the powers basically because Syzygy, the big boss, cuts them off the power, so they've got no power. So the only way to get magic is through doing particular things, such as like faith and what have you and stuff like that. And Ruby believes likes parties and stuff like that, and takes the energy from parties and stuff like that, and then gets magic from that sort of thing. So at the end of Volume 2, there is so I'm trying to think now. So the end of Volume 2, Ruby gets her powers back and starts basically sets up like an agency like Wizard was doing in the first book, where he was set up like an agency sort of thing for people to come and help him, and they would pay him in currency that would give him magic. And she's basically taken his job, Nick's taken the job from him because she wants the magic more than he does at the minute. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Volume 3 it just felt like there was a bit. It was definitely a good read, but it didn't seem like it was. It feels like it's like the middle of a trilogy type thing, like the middle issue that's kind of like explaining a lot of stuff, and it's not going anywhere. It's leading to somewhere further on. The next book is leading to a bigger like confrontation in the fourth book. So it's where Jacques Zack, the French like federal agent who has been at it against Wizard from the beginning because he made his kids disappear because they were watching a baseball game, and the baseball game he happened to explode someone at the baseball game, and he didn't want anyone to know that he'd done that, so he made everyone who was watching the game disappear so that no one would have knowledge of what had happened. So he's been against Wizard straight from the beginning. All he's trying to do is find his kids. But in this book, he has found himself in the whole world with Syzygy, the big boss, and he's trying to get this guy to be his new, like he wants him to be the guy that's going to take down Wizard for ultimately. So that's going on in the whole world. The whole story of like Jacques Zack wants to find his kids, and Syzygy is saying, "Yep, I know your kids. I will take you to your kids." And then, but like, I kind of want you to be the guy that's going to take down Wizard. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, fine, we'll do that with him." So that story's going on in the whole world, and then there's a whole another story going on where like Wizard and Ruby Fears are trying to get Margaret back. Now you're going to go, who's Margaret? Margaret is like Wizard's familiar sort of thing. Like Harry Potter, and he has an owl.
Yeah, well, they usually have black cats.
Yeah, and it talks. It's like a talkie. It's like Margaret in this is a platypus. Right. She was originally a koala in the first book. And then magic, like she gets magic from like Wizard doing certain tricks or whatever, and she gets enough of a spark, and she can transform into another animal, and she transformed into a platypus, something like that.
Is that because they're the only animal that make eggs and milk? No, and therefore can make their own custard.
What they did, I don't know. She apparently she's got a thing for Australian animals, because in this book she turns into a quokka.
I don't even know what a quokka is. Do they make vanilla? So
Quokka's like, it looks like a bit like maybe like a beaver. A bit like a beaver maybe with a bear, or like a raccoon.
I think I've seen them before. I'm just
so she's got a thing for Australian animals, but she is being held captive by someone we don't know at the minute. We don't know who they are. They take her at the end of book 2, and this whole story arc is Wizard and Ruby trying to find Margaret, and the whole thing of like who's taken Margaret, we don't know, and they use magic to try and find her, but they have a series of like earthly. Yeah, I'm choking again. It's not getting me all like emotional or anything. It's like these the earthly magicians who can have like very basic magic, but if you put like 10 of them together, they have enough power to kind of like mask where they are and keep Wizard out of it and can't find it. So that's the whole story in the Earth, as it were. So there's a story, and by the end of it, they eventually find it, obviously, and then there's a whole twist as to what's gone on there, and nobody knows quite what's gone on as to why they had him captive, because it's not really explained. It'll probably be explained in a later issue. And then so it's going to come to a head now at the end of this book. There's a whole thing about
the final, or is it just the?
I don't know. Probably not. But it's just a really good read. I like Charles Soule, I think, who writes this. And it's just a really. I've really enjoyed this series. I'm always like, as soon as I see one's coming out, I'm like, yeah, I'll get that. And no questions asked. I've enjoyed it. So I'm going to keep reading it.
The Neil Gaiman with the word Sandman on it.
Yeah. So that is all I've read this week. So now I think that is the end of all my current issues that I own physical.
Oh God, if we're talking, I mean, I'm terrible. I've got so much physical stuff that I need to read through. I'm not allowed to buy anymore.
I've got stuff like in the backlog that like realistic I'm not going to read, but I've not got any new books.
I'm seriously considering getting 2 bookshelves so that I can have a bookshelf of what I've read and a bookshelf of what I need to read, so I can have a physical act of moving them across.
Moving them around.
And I think the red one will probably be quite full, but I actually think the unread one will be running it quite close at the moment. Because I keep reading digital and I keep coming across stuff digitally and thinking, well, I'll get that while I'm here.
Well, I've got long boxes. I've got long boxes, and I think I'm on about 6 long boxes now. And I'm just like,
what puts me off them is you can't then see them, can you?
No, I can't. That's the pain in the backside. You're right, it is.
I need it to catch my eye and be like,
But that's the thing. I've not got books out that I want to read out. Anything that I've read will eventually go into a long box. At the minute, I've got no room in long, but I need more long boxes because I'm just stacking a big pile on top of the latest long box that of just everything that I've read currently from this last year. So I need more long boxes. But I'm now on to digital because I told you a few weeks ago, months ago maybe, that I'd bought a load of digital stuff in the sale, and I bought I bought 4 volumes of Deadly Class and 4 volumes of Black Science and 4 volumes of Descender and all the different ones that I kind of read like at least a year ago, like when I read the first 1 or 2 volumes and just stopped. But now, like in the Comixology sale, I've kind of turned on it and went, the Comixology sale seems to have saved me like hundreds of pounds. So I was like, I kind of should probably just go with this and just kind of, instead of just buying them physical, because I just run out of room. So I'm like, let's just go back to digital. So to do that, I'm going to have to go back and read all of the early trades again. So I'm either going to go back to Black Science or I'm going to go back to Descender and do that, and then have to go to digital at some point again.
I have no idea what I'm going to do at the moment.
No, it's insane, isn't it? It's insane. It's an expensive, stupid hobby that I love doing, but
yeah, I don't. Someone asked me about it at work because I guess in their world I'm the only person they know that particularly reads them, and I was thinking I'm such an imposter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I would consider like you and Kev read way more than I do, and I still bet the three of us would probably never hold our own if we went to Comic-Con and saw the serious people who read these as their life and soul. If we become we'll never do this for anyone to panic, but I imagine most non-comic people have turned off by now. But if we became a solely comics podcast, I imagine we'd get more backlash than we did for being a gaming podcast because, let's face it, we're quite casual gamers, but we would be even more casual comic readers. But to this guy at work, I'm like the most hardcore comic book reader he can think of. He's asking me questions and I'm kind of like telling him, and I'm thinking my answers feel so shallow and weak. Like he's asking me just what heroes I like, what my favorite series are, and I'm thinking none of my answers feel like the sort of answers that if he goes and tries to pull off my answers as his own, they're going to think, what the hell is this guy on about?
Well, that I'm the same. I mean, my knowledge comes from like DC and Marvel on Twitter, Forbidden Planet emails that I get on a weekly telling me what's out, and then one comic book podcast that is out once a month.
See, my local comic book shop always sends a daily, whatever's out each time, and so that keeps me abreast of like Giant Days or Wicked and Divine. Although I've started to get a sixth sense for it's been at least 4 weeks since I've read it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've started to just check, but I always know if Wicked and Divine has just come out, then Giant Days will probably be out in the next couple of days. It's usually my plan.
Speaking of Giant Days, did you see that they've released a novel? Giant Days novelisation.
Really? Is it like the same story but written?
I have no clue. It's a different writer.
That saddens me.
I don't know who it is, but there is a Giant Days. I think it's a novel. It can't be a different book. It looks like a paperback book. It's not like it looks like a regular sized book. It's not a comic book per se size. It looks like a regular book.
Every time I read that, I'm left with the feeling of wanting more people to read it and to show it to people.
I mean, it might be like for like, exactly the same. But I just don't know. But I really don't know. It's insane. I was like, oh, it's a new Giant Days book. What is this then? And I was like, oh, it's an actual book. I'm suddenly less interested. But I'm sure other people are interested.
I feel like that was a bad move on their part. Get more comics out and sell the rights to Netflix, but under the proviso that if they don't get the casting right, they should just scrap the whole thing. Because if they get the casting right, that'll be one of the best programs that Netflix will have on their entire roster. But if they get the casting wrong, it will suck and it won't work.
I'd like to say, yeah, I'd watch it.
I'd watch the heck out of it.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's always got a chance of being tragically bad, but I just feel like if they get the three girls and the two main guys right, Ed and McGraw.
Well, I mean, I've just posted the link in
I've just
the chat,
it,
and I'm like, the picture on the front seemed like realistic looking people, almost. It doesn't seem cartoony in any way, so I think it's an actual book.
It's still made by Boom Studios.
Oh yeah, it is, but it's not the same writer. I don't think, is it?
Well, Boom Studios is them.
Yeah, no, but it's not the same writer.
Non-Pratt, whoever that is.
Yeah, that's the author. I don't
Maybe
think
that's not his name. Maybe that's just his label. I'm not a Pratt.
No, because that person has been in Forbidden Planet this week signing books.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's probably not their name. They're just non-Pratt means they're all right.
No, you being funny again.
I'm trying to be, but obviously failing. And that'd be a great pseudonym.
No, just because I was just suddenly scrambling thinking, is that the actual author of the actual, the comic books? But it's not.
No, the normal ones are made by John Allison, which confuses me because I read it as like John and Allison.
Yeah.
Either. But oddly, not as though they're first names. I read it as though it'd be like Bob John and Jimmy Allison, when actually the person's name is John Allison. So that's confused me in so many ways. I thought it was written by two people. I mean, I'm guessing it's written by a whole team of people and, probably a whole warehouse of monkeys hitting typewriters in the hope that some of them come up with witty. I mean, it must take ages to write something this good. Because it's always consistently funny and consistently.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being one where I've been like, that was a bit basic and a bit crap. It's always been fun. So I just think it'd be a really good program. And it's never had to rely on being sort of brutal or cool or, dramatic or whatever. It's just got on with it. It's been good.
Indeed, it has. Well, actually, not. I think.
Yeah, I think we're done. I think we can wrap up there. This has been a much longer episode.
Exactly the same sort of length as last time. Another episode where we expected to barely string an hour out.
Genuinely thought, I'll rattle off my bits. You'll talk about yours, and we'll be done. My tweet is up to nearly 900 now.
Really? Well, there you go.
Annoyingly, right? This sums up my dad, and this is why I've done the tweet. And I'm hoping that what I'm about to say will implore more people to go and retweet this. Nearly 900 people have retweeted this. I've had a lot of tweets in support. One person out of that 900 asked me why I want to impose my beliefs on my parents. And out of the 900 responses that I've had, my dad has liked that one. Which means he's had to have dug through them to see that. There's no way in hell that he's seen that without digging through the noise. I suppose he's not seeing the massive long list. I mean, it just come up on my thing. Sheepdog's dad has liked a tweet, and because that I forgot that's his name on Twitter. So anyone who takes the time and effort to look will see him there and just be like, "There he is, get him." Because I didn't tag him on it because I didn't want him getting abuse. And a few people have said, "I'm surprised your parents even openly admit to reading that newspaper and stuff like that." I'm like telling him it'll be all right. I'll keep his identity secret. But yeah, nearly 1,000 retweets. Only another 249,000 retweets to go before I get to put that paper away. The last leg didn't do it, and it was the last episode of the season, so they've let me write down there, haven't they?
Oh well. Oh well.
Never mind. Anyway, that is your lot. Thanks for listening. Did you know we have a Facebook group? What is it? MGP Games, TV shows, films, comics.
Is it not just Mature Gamer Podcast?
No, I think it's called MGP. It might be Mature Gamer Podcast. Just type in Mature Gamer Podcast. We'll come up. I'm on Twitter. So we're on Twitter at MGUK Podcast, or I'm on Twitter at RB6K.
And I'm at Pab1986.
And you can follow us on other platforms such as the YouTube, where I'm Sheepdog6K or Sheepdog Says. I forget which it is now. Sheepdog Says.
Yeah.
Bajillions of videos on there. I think I did video 153 earlier. I can't believe I've done 153 videos. That seems mental.
There you go. Yeah, it does seem bonkers, that.
Kev hit 60,000 subscribers the other day on his normal Kevin Chapman channel, which again is bonkers.
Yeah. So, and like I say, if you want to watch all of his antics in Blackpool and what have you that he's mentioned, or he sort of like shouted out through it earlier on in the show, go and have a look at his channel. It's all there, so why not? But yeah, I don't have a channel. I don't do any of that stuff.
You should have a channel.
I'm too busy playing games.
Spend your week. Yeah, play them on a channel, Pab.
Yeah, but that's
don't record the gameplay. Just put a camera on you, and while you're.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I can't. It's definitely not PG when I get into a game. I'm just more shouty and angry.
To be PG. Kev doesn't do politics, whereas I seem to be doing nothing but politics tonight with my Twitter rantings. You can just not do family friendly. I'm trying to be family friendly but slightly political. Kev's trying to be purely family friendly, all about the image. You can just be our, dark secret in the background at F's and Jeff's. Because, quite frankly, it's probably the opposite way around. Kev's a monster, and you're the nice, quiet one.
Well, maybe one day.
All right, well, let's wrap it up there. Thanks very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening, folks.